Hello everyone, it's Karen here from tuppenscolour.co.uk. Thank you for joining me. Today's project is going to be one of these little favour boxes. Now, last time I posted, I showed you how to make the bride version of the box, and I spent quite a bit of time showing you how the box was constructed, how it went together, how to resize it. So I'm not going to do that again. If you want to know how to build the box, then basically look underneath the video here and I will put a link to that project and you can go away and see how I made the box. This is the version I made. I made it in the real red. This week I'm going to be making the bridegroom version of the box. So stick with me and we'll get started. Here's my box, which I've already made from basic black card, and if you were going to make up a lot of these, then this is what I would recommend you do, is make up a lot of these just like this and just store them flat until you're ready to decorate them. I'm going to make the shirt front is the next part. So I have my piece of Whisper White card, and it's 3 1/4 inches by 1 1/2 inches, and I've made a little mark at the halfway point, which is 3 1/4 inches at the top and the bottom. Could have done it in pencil, but as I was on the scoring tool, I decided that I would just score it, because I've also scored 1/2 inch away from one edge. So this is going to be the collar and this is going to be the shirt front. So what I'm doing now is with a pencil, and I'm going to do this on the, on this side because this is going to be black. So I'm going to join up those lines together. Oops, stay still. I'm just going to, right, I've marked that up and I've got my ruler, a pencil, and I'm going to draw down from that mark I made at the top just to the score line, because that is where I'm going to cut my collar, and I'm also going to score from that point to the outer corner. And I'm going to do the same again from the same point to the opposite corner. And I'm going to come in with my scissors and I'm going to cut along that line that I've just marked. Do the same again on that side. I'm going to snip down as far as the fold line, and now here's my collar. So it's a little bit fiddly, but that folds over like that, and that folds over like that. And that's going to make the wing collar. Now, nice dress shirt obviously needs a tie. So I have here a piece of real red ribbon, which I've cut to about 6 inches long. It's not important, it just needs to be long enough to make a bow. And I'm going to be using this, which is a dinner fork. Right, so to tie my bow, I'm just crossing over one side over the other. And the edge that I just brought over to the front, I'm feeding through between the tines. And I'm keeping a hold on my ribbon and I'm bringing that around to the front. And all I need to do now is to tie a knot. I've got sausage fingers. A nice firm knot. And there I have a nice neat little bow tie. And here's my shirt front. So I'm going to take a glue dot when I can find where I've put them. Here they are. I don't know what it is about dream dots. Pause here. Right, so now I'm going to fasten my tie to my shirt before I go any further. So I'm going to put a glue dot onto the back of the tie, just to make sure, just to make it sit very nicely under the points of the collar. And then let's take these pieces round to the back, and I'm just going to fix them with a little bit of wet glue. It doesn't have to be wet glue, it could be tape, but I have the wet glue handy, so that's what I'm going to use. Stay very steady. I'm just going to snip off the excess pieces. So put that to one side. And now we'll work on the waistcoat. For the waistcoat, I took a piece of Timeless Elegance DSP, which is 1.5 by 2.5 inches, and I repeated the same process that I did for the shirt to make the waistcoat. So to make the space at the front where you can actually see the shirt, I'm just snipping down as far as the middle, and I'm cutting into there, and there. And there's my waistcoat. So, a piece of wet glue. Just going to slide that into place underneath the bow tie. Now, on reflection, might have been easier to put the waistcoat on before I made the bow tie. So you learn from my mistakes. So now I'm going to apply that to the front of the box. And the fold over bit, this bit here, right, is going to go level with this edge of the box. I'm just going to kind of put it in place by eye. Oops. And again, the nice thing about using a liquid adhesive is that it does allow you a little bit of time for wiggles. So there we are. Now you can, don't worry that you can see the a little bit of his shirt there, because we're going to sort that out with the next step. To make the lapels on the jacket, I have a piece of basic black card which is 1 inch by 3 inches, and I'm going to cut from corner to corner. So wish me luck. I'd like to get this as straight as I possibly can. Just be bold. There we are. And I'm going to put them together so that they are mirror images of each other, and I'm going to use my small snips for this because this is a bit more delicate work. And I'm going to cut the lapel pattern. So I'm going to start about here, try and keep these together so that he winds up with even lapels. So I'm about 1/2 inch, and I'm going to cut off a triangle, and then I'm going to cut in to there. Now, if you're not comfortable with doing this freehand, it will help if you keep them together so that they don't come apart. Then by all means go ahead and practice and make a template. And then you can just draw around it and just shove out as many as you like. Okay? So And if you're not, I'm not quite happy with that angle, so yeah, and now I have the lapels for his shirt, for his jacket, I beg pardon. So let's bring my bridegroom back in, and this is where they'll go. On that side, and on that side. I am going to put a little tiny bit of a dimensional under the outer sides of these lapels, because otherwise they kind of fade. When you're using black on black, they kind of fade into the background, and they kind of disappear, and we do want them to stand out a little bit. The other thing that you could do is you could just curve them up a little bit, which is what I did on the first version that I made. So take away back in, and come in again, a little bit of wet glue. Not too much. Not too much. And make sure I cover up any of the little bits of shirt that might be sticking out. I'm actually going to snip that off. I'll do the same on so that it sits nicely on his shirt. And there he is. Now we just need to give him a buttonhole, because every bridegroom needs a buttonhole. The flower in his buttonhole, yeah, that's right. So I've got the 4 point petaled flower from the Bitty Accents punch set, and a scrap of real red card. I'm just going to shape that with my finger. And pop that on with a glue dot, and final decorations, we'll give him, oops, come back, escaped pearl in the centre of his flower. It doesn't want to stick. Let's try another one. That one doesn't want to play. So that's better. That's much more like it. Shape the flower around it, and we'll give him a couple of buttons, pearl buttons on his waistcoat. So we'll use the teeny tiny pearls from the Pearls Basics, or Basic Pearls. Basic Pearls, that's what it says. One at the top, one at the bottom, and one in between. Yeah? Okay. So, one more thing. I've stamped this stamp, which is in the Watercolour Wishes stamp set, and cut it out on using the washi tape punch. And I'm going to put that on to the back. And this isn't, you could use snail, you could use whatever you had handy there. But since I've got the glue dots here, I'll use those. Now, as I said when I made the bride, on the back of here you could have, like the name, if you were making these for wedding favours, you could have the name of the happy couple and the date of the wedding, and people could take it away then with with their little gifts, the sweeties or whatever I'm putting in there for their favours. And all I need to do now is to build the box. So I've put my adhesive tape on that one. So fold that to that to that, and take the backing off the tearing tape. I'm trying to get that nice and square. Bring those two in together, and there's my bridegroom. So here's the finished Favour box, and here's the bride version. And just to remind you, if you want the measurements and the instructions and tutorial on how to make this box, then look for the tutorial for this box, and I'll put a link in the more about information underneath this video. And in that box you can also find details of my Facebook page and my blog and my online shop and all of that good stuff. And I would really love for you to visit, and I'd love for you to leave a comment, and I would really love for you to subscribe to this channel if you've enjoyed it. So that's it for now. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.